It has not been a good time for the bourgeoisie. Many restaurant owners and owners of businesses that have low-income employees are having a great deal of difficulty trying to get people to come to work. Some of them even offering $1,000 signing bonuses if you do decide to join, with a slightly increased pay. Well, think about that. That's kind of where we are right now, and that's how bad things are for the employment situation in the United States. Now, the latest job openings and labor turnover survey, which is done by the U.S. Labor Department, show that the number of Americans quitting their jobs jumped to 4.3 million in August. That's about a 2.9% of all employed workers in the U.S., with the highest rate of quits in U.S. history. And that's where we are right now. Record numbers of people are saying, to hell with this job, and walking out. The number of job openings fell from 10.4 million in mid-August, but follows from a July which saw a record 11.1 million jobs go empty. So they were looking for 10.4 million people, but that was after they were just looking for 11.1 million people for jobs. And that is another record high. Well, it seems to me that a great deal of the people in the United States, well, to be more specific, the low-income people, the people who are working with the, well, for the lack of a better term, a shit job, or often referred to as a Mick job, despite McDonald's attempt to ask a Webster Dictionary people to get rid of the term, are tired of it. And the same thing is happening in Canada right now. These low-paying jobs are having a tremendous difficulty in finding people to work them, and finding enough, and people are quitting them. This is referred to as a labor shortage in Canada, so they're phrasing it just a little bit different than they are in the United States, but essentially very similar economies, very similar problem. A recent survey by Restaurants Canada found that 80% of food service operators were finding it difficult to hire kitchen staff, and 67% were having trouble filling serving, bartending, and hosting positions. Now, before that, in Canada, this kind of service industry employed about 1.2 million people, and is currently short about 130,000 people right now, which is a much bigger number considering that Canada has a tenth of the population of the United States. So that is a far more significant here. And keep in mind, that's just to reach pre-pandemic levels, not to actually grow or anything like that. A Statistics Canada study found that hospitality workers have the worst job quality out of any industry. This was largely due to low earnings, the inability to take time off, no paid sick leave, a lack of training opportunities, and no supplemental medical and dental care. Yes, so if that's how bad it is in Canada, I can imagine that it's probably at least twice as bad in the United States. I mean, who would have thought that if you have a job that treats people like they're literally disposable commodities, those people may start acting like disposable commodities? It's like when a job hires you and they say, we're looking for someone who will give 110% at this job. Oh, what's the starting wage? Minimum wage? Can it go up? No. Isn't it amazing how they want above and beyond for the absolute minimal amount? Hey, I mean, you can complain about how your fast food service is, but you get what you pay for. Hey, I've always had the opinion, if you go into a job and they pay you the minimum wage, you do the minimal amount of work. You give the minimal amount of effort. I mean, what's the matter? You expect something for nothing? Wow, somebody certainly doesn't like capitalism. Like that's what you get when you say wages are too low. The ANCAP, the libertarian comes, he says, well, they think they should get money for nothing. When you really, it kind of really is the other way around. Now, the number of people walking off the job, like just walking, the sheer numbers of job vacancies have become an increasing source of concern for the nation's economic recovery. And that would be both for Canada and the United States in this regard. You see, the thing about capitalism, you have to buy stuff. And if you don't buy stuff, the system goes into crisis. I mean, that's the point. You produce for surplus value. Pardon me, you produce to get surplus value by providing an exchange value. You don't produce for the use value, the thing that people actually need. You do it because you can make a profit off of it. And if you can't make a profit off of it, you don't make it. You know, like food for about 1 billion people in the world. You know, like that. Like there really is a demand, but they don't have money, so it doesn't actually get done kind of thing. It's kind of like that. So, I mean, you can't really recover an economy, or in the case of capitalism, consumerism, literally just consumerism, if they're not buying anything. And it becomes hard to sell it to them when no one wants to work for you because you don't pay them enough to be able to buy anything. You know, it's kind of like a vicious circle kind of thing that, you know, someone with an economics degree would already be able to see, but you know, they kind of just don't answer that. Now, normally in an economy, when you have such a high rate of people quitting, it's because people are optimistic about their job prospects. Hey, there's like, oh, fuck it, man. There's a better job out there for me, so I'm just going to go and do it. But that's not the case here. In fact, those jobs are actually shrinking, and despite what anybody might say, people do actually know that. They know it's getting worse. In fact, it's attributed largely to people being afraid of contracting the Delta variant of COVID-19. I mean, I certainly do understand that. You know, you're risking your life, essentially, for what? To serve somebody who's treating you like ass already, for somebody who's paying you like ass already. Now, I know how that feels. I used to be a security guard in the Niagara region. I have seen people, I witnessed one of my coworkers get stabbed with a used heroin needle for minimum wage. And that was one of the incidents that convinced me maybe it's time to find another job, because I didn't really feel like going through something like that myself. I mean, who really would want to even, how many people would be willing to even risk something like that? So, so to try to get all these workers that are fed up with the bullshit to come back and do these low-paying, low-respected jobs, they're putting on, you know, kind of incentives and bonuses. I've seen like bus drivers, you know, drive kids to and from school with $1,000 signing bonus. I've seen advertisements from McDonald's offering a $500 bonus if you sign on. And this is where it at. Remember, these are all the things that they said they couldn't afford to give working class people before. Oh, we couldn't give that, then we wouldn't be able to turn a profit. If we gave you 1 penny more an hour, we'd go bankrupt and we would disappear. So, hey, say hello to this new machine that does your job. Well, where are you at now? How come your machine isn't filling in? Come on, this should be spurring on innovation in automation, right? Get more machines in there to do the same job, and yet you're offering all these extra incentives to work. What happened? What happened to all that shit you were talking before, how you're going to replace people with machines? That not really panning out right now? No? Not really? Oh, okay. All right, that's fine. Some 42% of small business owners said that they had raised compensation last month, and that it is up for 1 point in August, which marks a 48-year record high. Now, most of the mainstream media is blaming a multitude of things for this, particularly the right wing. They're blaming federal unemployment benefits. Well, if you just pay people to sit home and not do anything, because that's how that works. People literally say, I would like to live on the bare minimum possible, just over poverty lines. living in communities where I am probably more likely to be killed by street violence than go to college. I mean, people choose that, right? They sit down and they consciously choose something like that according to these people, but don't tell the Fox News audience that, because that tends to be the perception, and tends to be the middle class perception as well, and what they think lower income people are like. So they say that the impact of the social safety net, once that's over, and that ended in September, so there hasn't been new statistics since that, so that may have changed since then, because this is just the latest data that's available now. It'll be updated fairly soon. So maybe they say once those run out, people will begin hiring. But it's funny because I do see the complaints still going on to this day right now that we can't get any people. Oh, I guess people just don't want to work. Nope. People don't want to work for you. People don't want to work for you because of the way you treat people. Oh, we don't tell them that, and then they get mad, and then they start flying off into a whole bunch of things that have nothing to do with actually going on. It's almost like maybe if you know how the higher paying a job someone has, the better retention that they have? It's like there's almost some kind of link between the way you treat people and the way people treat you. I know it's weird, right? Like, if you treat everybody like garbage, people are going to treat you like garbage. Oh, you could call it all kinds of things. Do unto others as you have them do unto you. You could call it karma. You could call it all sorts of things. I would call it common sense. That if you treat people like that, they are going to treat you like that. And that's what happens. So just a bit of a thing for you, the bourgeoisie out there, if you ever happen to decide to watch my channel, which I sincerely doubt you will, that's something you should be watching out for. And I think they deserve this. They should be going without having someone work for them. I mean, how many people were being idiots about masks? And you know who has to deal with that idiot who comes in without a mask and starts threatening people or pulling a gun in the case of the United States, because they have to pull a gun for every reason, no matter how small? You imagine being that guy? Standing there, having to deal with somebody who doesn't want to wear a mask. My Constitution, my rights. Well, thankfully, that's not as bad in Canada as it is in the United States, and I've had to deal with that a couple times working at my job. No, I've had to do that. I tell them wear the mask or get out. And just leave it at that. Mask or get out. Mask or get out. And just keep saying that until they answer. And if they don't want to wear a mask, they're gone. They have a mask, they can have service. And then they're real bitchy about it that they had to put the mask on to get service. But hey, that's the working world. That's the labor environment that we have right now. And the person who can do the most about this is the person who owns the business. Create tougher policies against customers who refuse to use common sense. Treat employees better. Pay them better. Provide better conditions, and people will want to work for you. I mean, this kind of is like Libertarianism 101, where they claim capitalism will do this if there was a truly free market, but then when we see capitalism in reality, it doesn't actually do that. So this should make sense even to those people themselves, because just remember, if this was all about you and it was your risk and your company and all about your labor and all your effort, you wouldn't need any of these people that don't want to work for you to begin with. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.